Hey there, Carnage Travers. Welcome back to Carnage Corner. I know it's been a minute, but I appreciate you coming back to check out my top 10 tag team champions. It is. So, unlike my other videos, the top 10 tag team champions is not focusing on one particular title like I did the top 10 United States champions, top 10 Intercontinental champions, top 10 WWE champions. This doesn't focus on one particular set of belts. This is a broad spectrum overall, which did make it just a little harder to do. So, I want to preface this saying that this is what I think are the top 10 tag team champions. Now, there are going to be people out there who are going to ask me, why isn't this team on the list? And why isn't this team on the list? And why isn't this team on the list? And the thing I would say to them is that I'm not just basing this is my opinion, but I came to my opinion not just based off of what I like, because again, there will be people on this list I don't like. Okay? There will be people on this list I'm not a fan of at all. But I have to take them. I have to weigh what they've done, their importance to the business, the history. What would history be like without them? All of that to try and decide who is the top tag team. So if you don't agree with me, you can feel free to go in the comments and tell me. Just understand that I didn't just pick these willy-nilly. I put a lot of thought into who got placed where and why. So, I'm going to jump right into it. At number 10, I have the Hart Foundation. So, the Hart Foundation, that of course being Jim Neidhart and Bret Hart. They did not hold as many titles as you might think, for as popular as they were. They held the World Tag Team Championships twice, and they had a combined 483 days as champions. But so it's not necessarily their title victories that land them on this list, but more so than that, it is the amount of days reigning is impressive, but at the same time, their cultural significance and their importance to tag team wrestling overall, they just barely eked out making it into the top 10, despite the fact that I absolutely cannot stand Bret Hart. So, at number 9, I have the Bar. And before you jump on me because they're new and they were just thrown together and this and that, some of the best teams we've ever had were just thrown together, and they were able to make it work. So I mean, the Bar, five separate championship runs. They were the best. They won the award for best tag in 2018. They had a combined 342 days as champions. It is impressive. It's also been a great example of taking the chicken shit you're given and turning it into chicken salad, which both these guys did, and saved their careers in doing so, because a very good chance both these guys would have been on the outs if they hadn't made their team work. So, it's a very good example. At number 8, I have Demolition. Demolition spent forever as the longest reigning tag team champion in WWE history. Now, of course, they no longer hold that distinction, but Demolition did hold seven tag titles, okay, over 698 days combined as champions. And they were a huge part of the tag team division back in the old WWF. Moving into, I forget when was their last appearance, but unfortunately they did go away right around the time the quote unquote golden age of tag team wrestling came about. But I mean, the importance of Demolition cannot be overstated. So at number 7, despite the fact that I cannot stand them at all, I have the New Day. Okay, the New Day usurped the Demolition as the longest reigning tag team champions. Okay, New Day has won Tag of the Year twice. Okay, in 2015 and 2016, they've held 7 titles and had a combined 712 days as champions. So, New Day, despite my dislike of the gimmick and all that good shit, they've proven to be a very successful tag team, and they're very popular. Just because I don't like them does not mean they're not very popular. They're extremely popular with children, and they are extremely popular with childlike people. Moving on from there, at number 6, I have the Usos. The Usos, super impressive since their debut. The Usos have won Tag of the Year 3 times. Okay, they've held 7 titles for a combined 720 days as champions. And they edged out New Day because their time as champions was a little longer, and because they have either one of their gimmicks has been one that more than just the younger demographic can enjoy. I mean, yes, the children did love it when they were painted up colorful and coming out and doing their dance, but the children weren't the only ones who loved it. That was also, that was a part of their Polynesian culture that they brought into it, and there was a lot of people who really dug that. So they did switch it over to their Uso Penitentiary gimmick, which allows them a little bit more freedom, and to be fair, it is a little more fun. So, that being said, the Usos at number 6. So before I go into number 5, quick recap. The Hart Foundation at number 10. The Bar at number 9. Demolition at number 8. The New Day at number 7. And the Usos at number 6. At number 5, I have a pair that some of you may think should be higher. Okay? At number 5, I have Edge and Christian. Edge and Christian, 8 titles in the WWE. Well, not just in the WWE, there's also a Canadian province title in there as well. 2-time Match of the Year winner. Okay, over 206 days as champions. Now they had, that means that their title runs were a little shorter, but this was the golden age of tag team wrestling. And I have to question anybody who puts together a top 10 list and of tag team champions, and Edge and Christian don't fall on there somewhere. So, with that, for me, they're at number 5. At number 4, we have an almost exclusively WCW team. We have Harlem Heat. I loved Harlem Heat growing up. Those guys were great. Harlem Heat, very, very impressive. 14 titles they've won together. 11 of those being in WCW, and then they've won a couple in the indie circuits down in the Texas, Arizona area as well. So, that being said, the Harlem Heat had 14 titles, over 624 days combined as champions. These guys were, while you had the golden age of tag team wrestling over in WWE, these guys were, burning it down over in WCW with the tag team wrestling. So, moving on to number 3. At number 3, I have the LOD. That's right, the Road Warriors, as they're more commonly known. LOD, 14 tag team championships throughout the world. So that's WWE, WCW, AWA, New Japan. They've been all over. Okay, 14 tag titles. Okay, they were the 1983 Rookies of the Year. They won 3 six-man tag titles. Now, for those of you who aren't aware, those things did exist. I think we could do with more of them, but that's neither here nor there. So 3 six-man tag team championships and over 2,298 days combined as champions. The Legion of Doom, or the Road Warriors, there's an argument to be made that they could be the greatest tag team of all time. That being said, it's they fall number 3 on my list, partially because not all of this has been from the same 2 members. Okay, there was, as is well documented, Hawk had his issues, and Hawk, and then we had the Crush in there for LOD 2000, in the year 2000. So it's a little convoluted, but at the end of the day, I mean, Hawk and Animal themselves, best tag team, one of the best tag teams of all time. Now, at number 2, we have the Steiner Brothers. The Steiner Brothers were the epitome of tag team wrestling back in the day. Steiner's 16 tag team titles. Okay, they won the award for the 1991 Match of the Year. They were Tag Team of the Year twice in 90 and 93, and they had over 1,706 days as champions. I can't say enough about the Steiner Brothers. They've evolved over the years. They're still doing it, also, mind you. Like, I know Steve is. I know Steve. I know Scott is still active. Rick, I'm not 100% sure, but I know Scott is still active. But I mean, these guys, I mean, they were one of the best tag teams ever, and they were one of the top tag teams when I was younger. So, and I mean, you can make the argument that, oh well, they couldn't hang with the Bucks. Maybe not right now, but I'll tell you what, if you took friggin' 1992 Steiner Brothers, they'd have made the Bucks look silly. I'm sorry. And so, before we get to number 1, a quick recap. At number 10, I have the Hart Foundation. At number 9, I have the Bar. At number 8, I have Demolition. At number 7, I have the New Day. At number 6, I have the Usos. At number 5, I have Edge and Christian. At number 4, I have Harlem Heat. At number 3, I have Legion of Doom / Road Warriors. At number 2, I have the Steiner Brothers. And now, number 1, drum roll please. Number 1, I have the Dudley Boyz, or Team 3D if you prefer. So, now, again, I'm not sure how anybody could argue against the Dudley Boyz being towards the top of this list, but just to justify myself, the Dudley Boyz, 25 tag team titles they have won. Okay, 2-time Match of the Year winner. Okay, 3-time Tag of the Year winner. Voted Tag Team of the Decade for 2000 to 2009. Okay, over 2,142 days as champions. This is across ECW, WWE. They held the WCW Tag Team Championships. Then we're getting into TNA and New Japan Pro Wrestling. These guys have been all over the world. And to be fair, when you think tag team wrestling, unless you're pretty freaking new to professional wrestling, when you think about tag teams, the Dudley Boyz is probably one of the top, one of the first ones you think of. They're at least in the first 3 to 5 teams that you're going to think of when you start thinking tag teams, as long as you're not 12. So, and even then, there are 12-year-olds out there that love the Dudley Boyz. Let's just hope they're not watching their ECW stuff, because Whoa. That being that being said, my list was the Hart Foundation at number 10, The Bar at number 9, Demolition at number 8, New Day at number 7, The Usos at number 6, Edge and Christian at number 5, Harlem Heat at number 4, LOD at number 3, the Steiner Brothers at number 2, and the Dudley Boyz at number 1. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been my list. Feel free to jump into the comments and leave your list. Tell me if you liked my list. Tell me if you didn't like my list. Tell me if you're digging our self-quarantine. The streets don't look all that much emptier to me, but hey, it is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Ken Carnage, and until next time, Carnage is right around the corner.